Jackson Radio Show.
If I could just pick up on what John was talking about, one of the criticisms from Senator Corker today was the idea that history will most remember President Trump for debasing the country. And you could hear in Senator Flake's remarks the idea that he seemed to be writing it for history. How do you think history will view not only the remarks of the two senators today, but also former President Bush last week?
I certainly think history is going to look at this president as somebody who helped defeat ISIS, who built an economy that was stronger than it's been in several decades, who brought unemployment to a 16-year low, who's created over 1.7 million jobs since being elected. I think those are the things that people actually care about, not some petty comments from Senator Corker and Senator Flake. And I think they're a lot more concerned about the big policy initiatives that this president is driving, including historic tax cuts, which we're going to get done by the end of this year, and then start focusing on some other things. Those are the things this president will be remembered by, and I think those are pretty good, certainly good facts and ones that we're happy to stand on.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. I always tell you, the left, they tell you what they're worried about with what they say. Now you're saying, Kevin, they're talking about Donald Trump. You know, how's he going to be remembered? We had Senator Flake. We had Senator Corker, and we had former President Bush all saying, in the case of Bush, without saying names, that they're concerned about President Trump. What's history going to remember about him? And 1.7 million jobs in less than a year. Wow. Barack Obama had lost over 4 million jobs. Easily. It was more than that at this point. 1.7 million jobs. Lowest unemployment in decades. And I'm talking about getting people good jobs. Exuberance back into the body, into the society in general, right? Kids getting out of college actually believe they can get jobs. They're leaving their parents' basements. People, I thought there was going to be a mass revolt over the idea that there was no more Obamacare. Oh, Donald Trump issued executive orders that said essentially you can buy your insurance wherever you want, and we're not going to do this subsidy. And whoa, the world hasn't. How's that impacted your health care? He just got his budget, which I hope they reduce this thing, but he's also. And that's going to lead the way to tax reform. But he's also reduced the deficit. We didn't plow through 20 trillion at the rate we were. Think about where we were with Barack Obama by this time in his first year. He had inherited almost a $10 trillion debt from George Bush, and it was at 11 trillion. We were $1 trillion more into debt at this point last year. Barack Obama, in printing money, added $8 trillion of unfunded, non-backed up money that he printed in quantitative easing. Over $8 trillion. And the first trillion of it was already hitting the deficit. Donald Trump has reduced the debt. Has reduced the debt so far. This guy's wondering how Donald Trump's going to be remembered in history. When I said to you, they tell you what they're concerned about. They tell you to your face. Now you're saying, Kevin, what are you talking about? They're concerned about the legacy of the left. They're not concerned about Trump's legacy. Let me tell you, if you think Donald Trump is in the White House going, let me make a decision based on what this is going to mean for me in 100 years, you have to be a moron. This man doesn't care what you think. Donald Trump doesn't care what you think about him now. So what do you think he thinks he's going to care about in 100 years? And the reason why I know this is because I know what's inside of the minds of these men. I've worked with them. As a management consultant, I've talked to these guys, some of the biggest names in the industry. I never met with Tillerson, but I met his number 2. I met the guy who runs the business for all of BP internationally. That's British Petroleum, the second largest privately held company in the world. I know how these guys think. Number one, they don't care what you think about them. I'm going to do my job. I'm prepared to do this job. Now, I'll take your inputs. But if you, man, he's a terrible boss or whatever. You're okay, great. You're fired. Give me somebody in here that's going to do the job that I want done. End of story. There's no emotion in it. You say, I can't stand Donald Trump. He doesn't hate you. He just goes, okay, well, no problem. Boom, you're out of here. I want somebody in here who's going to listen to me and who's going to take what I say. It isn't a yes man, but he's going to listen to my ideas. If you want to come back with a counter, if you want to say, Mr. President, I disagree. I think we should at least entertain this as a strategy. Give that some thought. Yeah, it's a good idea, Kevin. But if you go, you're a moron, man. I can't stand you. You should be doing this. You're out of here. Nobody wants that. Executives don't want yes men. They want people that will bring contrarian ideas, but they also want to know that when they give you an idea and it's a good idea, you're going to follow it to the letter of the law. So it isn't personal. It's like the mafia. They go, oh, the mafia, it's like what Joe Pesci says. It won't be a stranger that kills you. It'll be your best friend. And you know why? Because it'll be business. That's the way they go. It's just business. Guys like Trump, it's business. Either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. It's that simple. And I'm not going to put emotion in it. Well, he is your brother-in-law. Look at what happened to Fredo. Right? They took him out on the boat. He went fishing. They wouldn't let the little boy go with him. He normally went fishing with his uncle or whatever. That was that. Fredo was no more in the Godfather series. So Trump looks at it as, man, this is business, but he's not. I've got a problem to solve today. And you want me to be worried about what's going to happen in 100 years? Businessmen don't think for, well, I wonder what my legacy will be. They're concerned about the 2-year and the 5-year plan, period. And not as it pertains to them, but as it pertains to, is this business going to be viable? So this knucklehead is worried about Barack Obama and the leftist and what is going to be their legacy. What will they be looked at? You want to know why? Because these are the people that told you, Americans who voted for Trump and Americans who support conservative values, that leftism works, and your election of Donald Trump has crippled the nation. It's going to cripple the stock market. It's going to torpedo everything. You screwed up. We're the intellectuals. We're the intelligentsia. You're the idiots, and you voted in an idiot who graduated from Wharton, took $1 million and made it into X number of billions of dollars, and run successful organizations. But you are idiots for electing that Wharton graduate, successful billionaire businessman idiot. We're the smart ones because we elected a community organizer who failed. We elected a guy who did nothing but connive politically to get where he wants, and then he gets what he wants, and he's the dog that caught the car. But yeah, we're dumb. Only in the time of Trump would 2 rhino senators hang themselves, out themselves. We get a glimpse, folks, of just how anti-American, anti-conservative, anti-Trump these senators are, and how many other Democrat senators hide behind that R. Because of President Trump, America can see that real Republicans do not own Congress. And you can add McCain to that list. But in 2018, we would have gotten these 2. See, they left because they knew the writing was on the wall. I don't know what Steve Bannon could do to him, but he could certainly hurt him. Steve Bannon went out and said, look, we're going after people. You got to love it. Bannon's like, look, here are the names of the people who have voted against you, against us. They are not real conservatives, blah, blah, blah. And for the record, I'm not a huge Bannon fan. I don't dislike Steve, but we've had our run-ins, and I'm going, Steve, you're an apologist for blacks as well, and I don't like your attitude. But other than that, he's pretty conservative. But we've had our run-ins. So we got these 2 senators on the ropes. They preemptively said, well, we're going to leave, and then we're going to make his life miserable for the next 14 months. Yeah, I bet you will. Let me make you guys a bet. Donald Trump's going to make their lives miserable over the next 14 months. You want to know why? Because you are going to go after these guys. These guys crave the spotlight. They want to be loved and liked. It's like John McCain. He wants you to love him. And the more you hate him, the more he's, I'll get it. Donald Trump's going to make their lives miserable. And so will you. They're saying Flake, one of them, Corker or Flake, wants to run for president in 2020. Good luck with that. You might as well shave your mustache into a Hitler mustache and get a Hitler haircut and say you're going to run, because you're not getting anywhere close. The bigger deal, folks, is this. The rest of Congress is going to get this message. Either you follow the president when you agree with him, of course, or you're going to be gone. But it's not just agreeing with him. You follow the president when he agrees with the general public of conservatives, and then go along, get it done. Think about this. The Democrats have never had this problem. As warped as Obama's ideology was, these idiots followed him off the cliff, losing over 1,000 seats, and they stuck with him, and they're still dyed in the wool. And we can't get guys to follow a man who's proving himself daily. Shame on us.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.